Good morning, students. So today we are going to see about education classes. In that, we are going to see about assessment of aptitude. So in the last class we have seen about assessment of skills, assessment of knowledge. So final part of assessment or evaluation tool is that assessment of attitude. So we all know that what is attitude means. It is a little thing that makes a big difference, and which is seems to be very little, but which is everything for a person to be successful. If the person is having very good knowledge, person is having very good skill, but poor attitude, then the person will not reach a success or will not be a good individual in certain career or a profession. So it's very important to have an attitude towards a situation or towards something. So in this class we are going to see about attitude and different scales that is used to assess attitude. So attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about something. Especially in our course, that is in nursing, we have an attitude test before joining to this profession. Why we are doing so? Not only for nursing, but all the professional courses now presently we do have this attitude test. Why we are doing is because knowledge and skill is not enough to person to be a good professional or become success in a profession. Attitude is most important. Without an attitude, if the person perform any nursing procedure, that will not be a good one, or that will not show success or cure rate. So positive attitude is that important, as how vitamins and minerals and nutrients are necessary for a good health. These all things are very little amount we are needed for daily life, but their lacunae can show various type of deficiency diseases. Similarly, in our behavior, if we are having a very poor attitude, that reflect our profession. So keep it up a good positive attitude towards in your personal life and also in your professional life too. So now let us move on to the different type of scales used to assess the attitude. Attitude scale measures how the participant feels a subject at the moment when he or she answers the question. So it is kind of feeling or a thinking towards a specific moment or a specific situation. So especially with the help of the scale, there are certain questions will be given. So and options will be given, and for each question how the participant feel or what the participant think about that question, and that's how the scale is being evaluated. In social research, scaling techniques are used to measure the attitude and behavior. The item in the scale in attitudes of an individual towards a matter, thing or object or system, and score will be allotted for each item. When we move on to the scale, you will be more aware, understand about the how it is being done. We will ask the individual to express his response towards an object or system on the basis of his response, and it is assigned a score which indicate the position. So always for each question there will be options, or it will be free bound questions, and how the person answer accordingly the scoring is being given. And finally we are or an evaluator is coming to a conclusion that the person is having this much of attitude towards a specific profession, and this much of or poor attitude towards this profession by rating the questions and the answers they are giving. So to get into that, we have certain scales. So this scale is a tool prepared for the purpose of measuring people's attitude towards an issue, and that is called as attitude scale. Attitude scale is designed to provide a valid or accurate measure of an individual's social attitude. You can see here scale with the facial expressions. So one is hopeful, one is willing to endure if required, searching for answers, desperate, bitter, hopeless. So in that way, different points are being given or scoring is being given. So this is how does a patient feel towards a pain. So these are the different types of attitudes the person may respond towards the pain. So you might have seen about pain scale also, different, and how the person is having the attitude towards a pain, or how much pain the person is feeling. Pain scale is there. So in that way, we are doing this attitude scale. So attitude is a ticket for success, and if you need to be successful, you need to have a good positive attitudes. You might have seen some students or your friends, or you might have seen some persons in your day-to-day life always showing a negative attitude, or always seems to be cindy or panic about all the situations. So they will not be success. The person who take the responsibility, person who take risk or chances, and having a positive attitude to any situation that happens in their life, even the negative or situation that even they have never imagined that happened in their life. So for all this, if they shows a positive attitude, that person becomes success. Now, coming to the types of different attitude scales. We have point scale, differential scale, summated scale, and summated semantic differential scales. First one is point scale. So there are certain options given, and they can cross the word that annoys him rather than placing, or which color seems to be most favorite. So in that way, 3 options or 4 options will be given, and they can point out one, and accordingly for each options they will be scoring, and accordingly the attitude is being assessed, and that is called as point scale. Next, most important type of attitude scale is called as semantic differential attitude scale, and this is most commonly used and seems to be very significant scale to assess the attitude. It is developed by Osgood and colleagues in 1957, mainly to assess the attitude of beliefs. And mainly, it consists of 2 adjectives with a 7-point scale between them. The subject is to select one point on the scale that best describe his or her views on the concept being examined. So it is a 7-point scale. 7 points will be given. Each point will be given certain scores, and from the 7 point best describing about the statement, the participant has to select. In semantic differential, values from 1 to 7 are assigned to each of these spaces, with 1 being the most negative response and 7 with the most positive response. So from negative to positive, or positive to negative. So in that series, the values will be given. Placement of negative responses to the left or right to the scale should be randomly varied to avoid global responses, in which the subject places checks in the same column of each scale. So now let us see the example, then you will be more clear about it. You can see here 7 points. So mainly the semantic scale are summed to obtain 1 score for each patient, and it measures the patient's reaction to stimulus words or concepts in terms of rating or bipolar scale refined with constructive adjectives at each end. You can see here the scoring is like 3 to 3, that is positive 3 to negative 3 it is being put. So positive 3 here, you can see positive means good. 3, 2, 1, 0 is neutral, 1, 2, 3, and right hand side when it comes it is showed as bad. Similarly, or in that way you can put, or like series order from 1 to 7 you can put. 7 seems to be most positive and 1 seems to be most negative. So usually the position marked 0 is labeled neutral, and 1 position are labeled slightly, 2 position means quite, 3 means extremely. So in that way it is being scored. A scale like this one measures directionally of reaction, good versus bad, or intensity of slight through extreme. So that's how it is being done, and that is called semantic differential scale. Next scale is about summated scale. This is also commonly used scale for attitude. That is also called as Likert scale. Here it consists of scales, each of which expresses some attitudes or values. The measurement of attitudes consists of statements designed to assess the feelings of an individual towards work, place, group, object, programs, etc. So here we are assessing the attitude towards a certain work, certain group of individuals, certain place or object. The measurement is being done. It consists of a series of statements to which the respondent need to react. The respondent indicates the degree of agreement or disagreement. Each respondent is given a numerical score, and total score of the respondent is found to be by summing up the